All right, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd with my co-host Deborah. It is Tuesday, April 28th, 2009, 9:51 p.m. Tonight we're going to be covering three cases, two old cases and one new case. I have on the phone with me tonight Gail St. John and Debbie Hill. Debbie Hill Hilt is the mother of a missing child, Cynthia and Macklin. That's case number 735. We'll be discussing all that in a little while. But first of all, how's everybody doing? Gail,
I'm doing
Deborah,
good. I'm doing good.
you doing good? Okay, how was your weekend?
Um, well, crazy as usual.
Okay. How about you, Deborah?
That's the norm for me.
Deborah?
Um, I'm doing fine. Thanks for
Okay, we
asking,
were all
Brian.
just
As
talking
far
about.
as my weekend, I was resting. This is the first time I've ever taken time off.
Yeah, you were gone for 3 days, for 4 days. Actually, I did the show last night without you. I know that you were available.
I know you didn't think I was back, and I
No,
was
I
already
didn't.
prepared for the show.
Yeah, I did it without you. Um,
Okay, I
it was
guess I didn't find out I was fired in time.
it was it was a little different, but I got it done. I got it knocked out. Um, we were talking about the recent swine flu outbreaks here in the United States and Mexico. We were we were chatting about that a little earlier. Um, what we've done is Deborah, you tell them as far as the
Okay.
forum we set up.
Well, when I came back from my little vacation, um, Brian had decided to start a forum for the swine flu. So everyone can go to swinefluboard.com, register. It's still under construction, added categories and topics. Still need to get more information there, add more categories and topics, but we're working on it. Um, if you have information to post, we're going to try to get resources there. So this early on, I'm sure that other people are getting things in place too. But thank you, Brian, for getting ahead of the game and getting something up there really quick.
You're welcome. What we did is we set that up because I've seen a lot of things in the news and stuff, and a lot of it seems like it's trying to scare people. What we're going to post here is nothing to do with psychic abilities or anything like that. It's just the facts as we know them, and we've been doing a lot of research on the H1N1 virus. And what it's capable of doing, and guys, it is serious, but I think that with proper precautions and like washing your hands, i.e., wearing masks or something like that, in the appropriate places, we can get through this. So it's www.swinefluboard.com. If you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you'd like to help us out, we're welcome to have all the help that you want to offer. Um, I do know that there's been a couple deaths in the United States. I'm pretty sure they're confirmed now. I think that was in California. But it is serious. It's something new. I believe it's a mixture of what is it? Bird, pig, and human flu viruses. Deborah.
Yes, from what I've learned, that's what's going on. And I was pretty sheltered while I had some time off. I didn't know about what was going on, that it was serious situation. Yes, it's a serious situation, but not a panic situation at this point, until Brian told me about it and said he was putting a forum up.
Right.
So, the bottom line is with this, as with everything else that Brian's doing, he's trying to promote awareness. And things can be prevented if you're aware and you take precautions. You can make lifestyle changes, pay attention to what's going on. Just like with, missing persons and anything else in life, we need to be really aware. So please visit swinefluboard.com, register, share whatever information you have, and look at, what's posted there. Trying to get some resources there and information so, people have places to go. So thank you for that, Brian. I
You're
think it's
welcome.
cool.
Well, thank you for posting all those links. I think one of the most important links that you guys should go to would be cdc.gov. There's a lot of information up there. And no, like I said, there's no hype there. It's just the facts as they know them, and how it's changing. More people will get infected. Unfortunately, more people probably will die. but I think this will be controlled. I don't think there will be any major pandemic or anything like that. I did do some dream drawing work on this, and that is posted in the alert section. I was able to find one dream from 2006 that may be related to that, but it states that it started in New York and it could possibly be terrorism related. From looking at the news and everything, I don't think that's the case, but just in case, it is posted in the alert section. And then I did do a dream drawing last night on that, and that is posted there too. That's posted on my website. But if you'd like to participate in the board, the discussion on what you can do, there's more than just washing your hands and stuff like that. You do have to be wary of handles, like I said, shopping carts, anything that a lot of people come in contact with. You want to make sure that those hand sanitizers, I think, are probably the best thing you can carry around with you. I did see, this was Fox News, somebody was bringing up, well, so many people die every year from the flu in the United States. Well, that's true, but most of those people are in poor health, and elderly people that actually die from flu-related problems. There's usually something else, I think, that goes along with that. This flu strain is completely new to the human species. So we have not built up antibodies in our systems to fight this yet. That's why it's I think, so dangerous and so contagious. Like I said, every day we're bombarded with different flu viruses and everything like that, and we fight them off. That's why we have an immune system. Well, this strain, the N1H. I think it's N1H1 flu strain is something new. It's actually a variant of the 1918 Spanish influenza, which killed, some people say, up to 100 million people. So it's I think it's scary, but I think that just be prepared and get the facts, and don't buy into all the hype, and don't go online and say, oh, here's somebody offering Tamiflu or something like that. I really not do anything like that. A lot of times that stuff is bogus. I think your government is prepared to have the if you were to need it, the vaccinations and the Tamiflu and that other drugs that are available. Gail, any comments or anything? We were talking about this before, but I mean, it's potentially a serious situation, but
Right.
I don't know what you think.
I just had a gentleman called me from Iraq, and we got on the subject of it, and he asked me, he said, do you think it's going to be serious? And while I think it's serious, I agree. Well, I don't feel panic. I know, right. There's going to be issues concerning this. I do think, in a way, it's going to be wiped out very quickly. So come October of next year, it'll be gone, over with. What'll happen between now and then, I don't think it's going to be quite as serious as they're trying to make everyone out to panic right now.
Right. Well, that's the media. And I guess that's their job, or at least they think that's their job. The dream drawing that I did have, I was able to find something. It's 3551. That is up there along with the new thing. You said October, Gail?
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's kind of what I felt, that October, pretty much everything by October would be calmed down and what I call back to normal, and the virus will pretty well be wiped out for 10 years.
Yeah, actually, it said here that well, in the dream drawing I got, it says zero was in New York City. I think that's patient zero. Reports say that's in Mexico. 161. That actually might be an address or something like that. Will not happen to December 13th, 2012. 47 deaths in the United States will burn out due to chicken DNA. That might have something to do with actually the makeup of the flu virus, with maybe the chicken DNA in there somehow making. Yeah, well, I kind of
thought by just all my feelings, well, it would let us be to October. And when I say 10 years, I don't think we're going to see the strain again for another 10 years. That particular strain, it will make a comeback.
Yeah, it's the N1H1 virus, but it has different variants and stuff. Like I said, I think the major outbreak was Spanish influenza, and that did kill a lot of people. But they really didn't understand what was going on. I don't think they were too.
Well, I think
prepared.
with a little more panic, I might say I might feel more panicked in 10 years.
All right. This flu virus is a little bit different as far as regular flu viruses goes. It tends to attack the people with the strongest immune systems. Basically, I think what happens is that your body fights it off, and in doing so, it releases some type of fluids in the lungs, I believe, and you actually drown to death, or something like that. I remember I'm not a doctor or anything, but I think that's what happens. And then that does not mean that if you're a child or you're an adult, you're not susceptible to it, because you are. And I did some researching on the 1918 outbreak, and there were tons of cases, tons of deaths of children of ages 4 and below, and adults of 60 or above. Way more than there were of healthy adults.
I will say something, and I don't know how this fits in. While I was talking to that gentleman from Iraq, I kept seeing potatoes. And I know that's laughable, but I kept seeing it, and I feel like there's something, or has to do with some type of protectant, some kind of thing that actually helps it, has to do with potato. So I don't know if there's anyone out there studying microbiology and different things like that, but I do feel that there is something in the potato that has something to do with being able to knock this.
I'm writing that down. I mean, anything is definitely possible. I mean, we develop vaccines from, we put them in chicken eggs.
Because I don't know, and I kept seeing the white potato juice as if it was, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Not actually the part you would eat. You know what I mean? Like you just slice a potato and eat it. I'm saying you probably would, but I feel like the actual curing part, or the part that can actually slow us down, or kind of the feeling was it's almost like a antibacterial effect on this flu, was like raw potato juice.
Okay.
As strange as that sounds, and I'm not sure that's anything I would ever want to drink.
Okay.
But there may be a serum they can make from it.
Okay, we'll post stuff like that in the forum. What we set up the forum, basically, we'll put different categories. Deborah's done a lot of work in there already. We're just going to be going off the facts that we have them, and then statistics from the WHO and the CDC. And then there's a lot of other sections for even home remedies and stuff like that are there, holistic cures and everything. Not that we're backing that or anything, but that information will be posted there from other people. If you want to post something, that's fine. But it is a serious event, and hopefully everything will be just fine. But this is something that's new. I mean, so, and I think the best thing that we said, this was on CNN. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. That's it.
Yeah, don't touch your eyes, don't touch your mouth. If you've been out somewhere, been grocery shopping, watch yourself. There is another issue, Brian, that was brought up to me today, and I had thought of it briefly, and I kind of let it pass. Raw fruits and vegetables at this point can be a bit more of an issue.
What about everybody, goes into like melons and stuff? People are going there touching. People test the melons and stuff. I just thought about that. I mean,
well, you can wash the outside of a melon, but you eat.
No, but what I'm saying is you touch. Yeah.
What happens when you eat it? You're ingesting what everyone else has touched. There's no real safe way to wash your fruits and vegetables
Bleach
that's
water.
Completely antiseptic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's ways to do everything. And I know that the virus is easy to kill when it's in the open. Even sunlight kills flu viruses.
The health food stores do sell a vegetable and fruit wash. They're saying it's probably 50%.
You know what? I heard it somewhere. You can make your own sanitation. You can make your own wash for fruits and vegetables. I think it actually involves some bleach or something like that. A small, tablespoon of bleach or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look that up.
Well, it's actually safe to put. Most people don't know, you can even wash things down with, an ounce of bleach.
Yeah. Into
a gallon of water.
When I was in the military, we had 500-gallon water buffaloes. That's what you drink of. We call them water buffaloes, but it's just a big tank that's on wheels. We would put a gallon of bleach in that, to disinfect. I mean, that's what the regs called for: a gallon of bleach or some tablets.
Well, the ratio that's out there is 1 tablespoon as far as sanitizing dishes, toys for infants, also baby bottles. If you want to sanitize them, 1 tablespoon of bleach to 1 gallon of water is the ratio.
Right.
We can put all this stuff in the forums, so that's be a great place for it. So, and if you guys have any other information or anything, please go there, sign up and post. That's what it's for.
Yeah, and if anyone finds anything else more about washing vegetables and fruits, let me know, because I'm really interested in that, because I do eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
We do that here too, and the thing is, those are porous type surfaces. I don't see how you could, really be that safe. Brian had a good point.
And that's
inside, but still, think about even like a cantaloupe.
You could wash it. You could wash the outside more. I mean, if you took a solution, it wouldn't affect the inside of the melon. But what about when you eat a peach?
But would it really get rid of it?
I think so, because it wouldn't go through it. What about a peach? What about an apple?
I don't
Grapes.
know.
Grapes. And does cooking kill it? Does certain temperatures kill it?
I mean, now I'm sitting to think, what about drive-throughs and people working there? I mean, they're touching food all the time.
Dry goods are going to be a concern.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you really need to stay away from the box goods, the staple goods like that, and really go to fresher things that you make yourself. The thing is, do we know if temperature kills it?
Yeah, well, of course it's a virus. There's certain temperature would definitely kill it. So does dry. Just like a dry environment, when it dries up, it's
right.
dead.
Does freezing preserve it, or
I
does
have no
freezing
idea.
kill it?
I couldn't tell you on that one. I don't know.
See, those are things we're going to want to find out.
I know that
more
most
about.
viruses out there in the open
You
die. They have to have a host. So.
Well, what do you guys think about produce that is, for example, like organic produce? A lot of the organic stuff comes in sealed packages, so it can't be handled by the people in the store. I would think that would reduce.
But where's it handled at?
I don't know. I mean, CDC.gov.
Well, it's handled by the people that package it, but I think that the loose produce is also. So if you were to buy stuff that's already sealed in packages, then you cut out that middle person as far as the people shopping that are handling it and the workers that are stocking it to the shelves. So I don't know.
Well,
do you guys
and
think that would
one
prevent
good
it?
thing might be, what about sticking to a lot of frozen foods, frozen vegetables?
See, I don't know, Gail, because when I heard that people get sick in Mexico from ice cubes. Okay, because bacteria.
True.
I know it's different. I don't know.
Freezing is not protecting.
We would have to have an expert to answer these questions.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to do. We need to get someone out here to talk about it. You know what I mean, and find out. I've got a word into Cindy. She lives next door to a doctor, and so we may be able to get him on to give us at least a few minutes to clear some of these things up.
Right.
Do we know? And that we're not understanding it as a doctor. I'm sure he's going to understand and be able to explain this better to us.
Right. It's cdc.gov and who.int. There's a lot of information there. I'm not exactly sure it's that specific, but yeah, there's thousands of questions. I guess people. I mean, we could talk about this forever. I mean, it's as far as I know, wash your hands. Don't put your hands in your eyes and mouth and whatever else that they tell you to do. So it's there. It's up at the top of the screen. Okay, let's
I really hope that we can get an expert on here, Brian, because there's so many myths out there with any health condition. Mm-hmm. I think a doctor of any kind would be able to, clarify some of that for us. People get worried that, certain contact would cause certain diseases, and it's really not true. There's so many myths out there. So, then
maybe we can do a dual show.
Well, I do know that eating pork products does not spread the swine flu. I think everybody knows that. I don't know why they put a ban on our beef and pork, but they did. But
well, if we do a dual show, it's a possibility then that we can, get Cindy's neighbor maybe on here to talk about this.
Sure.
with all of us, to clear up some of the myths and some of the misconceptions that all of us have about this.
We set up the forum. We're not experts. We're hoping that some experts do help us out. That's why the forum is there. And it's not, there's no media stories, nothing like that. It's just the facts. I mean, if anything comes from it, that'll be from the CDC or the WHO. But
well,
that's
the
what
facts,
we got.
Brian, when you say it's the facts, I would think that anytime you have a forum and you have people post information, and seeing as how a lot of this comes from the media and things that do come from, like cdc.gov, those people are human. So as far as facts, I mean, please be careful.
Sure.
So everyone that's reading the information, we don't guarantee, because it still is opinion-based and experience-based, and people are infallible. We just want as much information in one spot as possible.
Well said. And then there's a discussion area there too. Well, you set up a lot of the boards already, Deborah. So you just go there and check it out. If you got some information to post it. And like I said, if you have any ideas, thoughts, or whatever to help get us through this, please post it. Anything, no matter what it is. Organite energy, or anything. Seriously. But that said, let's move on.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to be doing 2 cases tonight. Actually, we're going to be doing 3 cases. Sorry about that. One of the cases, why aren't we doing that one, Deborah? Because we covered it before?
Because it appears from recent email that I received through your website, Brian, that the person may not be missing.
Okay.
That there's just some things in their life, and they sort of want to be missing and don't want contact with their family. And if they're an adult, well beyond the years of, not well beyond like ancient like me or anything, but, well beyond the age of majority, which is 18 in most states, they do have the right to make that choice. I would encourage, and that's what I have done in reply, to please contact your family and let them know you're safe. Okay. So we're not going to cover that case again. Okay. And it is one that you did open 2 cases on, Brian.
Okay. Yeah, I had it posted up there for a while. Anyway, real quick.
Yes.
Go ahead.
You know what the great thing is about that, though, Brian?
What?
Is this person realized, because we had covered the case, we had reviewed it on your broadcast here, and somebody that heard that spoke to this person, thinking that they may have been the person that, has been supposedly missing.
Okay.
So, people are listening, people are paying attention, and they let this person know that they were on your website.
Okay.
And since I've been on, I've recently received this, and we'll get it taken care of and posted.
Okay, so let's get to the new cases. First of all, Deborah, as far as active Amber Alerts, I don't know of any new news that's going on. Adji's still missing. And Gail, I checked the news for Adji Desir, and you're the last news article for Adji in Google. Did you know that? If you Google Adji Desir, click on news, it's still Gail St. John visits in Macklin. So.
That's something I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you're still there. You've got more news articles on you for Adji than Adji has on being missing, which I find.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is.
That's really a shame.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get Deborah asked me to do a case last night. This is case number 735. Let me get her picture up here. Okay, this is for Cynthia Ann Macklin. And this is case number 735. The request came to me from Deborah, and I think the request actually came from her mother. Her mother is on with us tonight. Debbie, are you there?
I'm there. Hi.
Hi. It was really nice talking to you earlier. I know you and Deborah have been talking a lot. I'm not aware of a lot of the information that you guys talked about. Deborah, do you guys just want to talk about what happened as far as her disappearance? And Deborah, you asked the questions, or you guys just do what you were doing earlier?
Well, there's actually 2 of us with the same name on tonight, so I'll go by Deborah, and then we have Debbie or Deb as she goes by.
Right, but your name your name is Debbie Hilt, Hilt, correct?
HILT.
Okay.
Yep. T on the end.
Okay, and I pronounce it since it's Cynthia and Macklin, correct? Pronounce that correctly?
Correct.
Okay. I'm glad I did.
She has
Okay.
also gone by Sadie in the past.
Okay.
Sadie.
Okay. Yeah, and guys, we have the case open. If you click in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you'll click on the current case file that I have, as well as the forum links to this case. We have additional pictures up there along with the MySpace, which is myspace.com /Cindy Macklin missing. And the link is there. I don't have to spell it for you. And she went by the name Cindy and Sadie. That's up there.
And the MySpace link is Cindy, but most of the other places we ever posted under Cynthia.
Okay.
So,
The link that I have, is that correct up there? I don't know if you can see it right now. CINDYMACKLIN missing.
Yeah, no, I don't even think I'm looking at the right screen, honestly.
Okay.
I see her
Well,
picture, and that's
let me just.
accurate.
I'll check that out. You guys just do your thing there, Deborah.
Okay.
You do have correct, Brian, you have that correct.
Okay.
And Deb, thank you for coming on the show tonight. We're really sorry to learn about Cindy being missing. And I first
Thank you for
learned
having
about
me.
Cindy's case. Oh, it's our pleasure. And I first learned when you emailed a case request through Brian's website, which I received toward the end of last week. And we spoke for a few hours on the phone, and we've spoken since then. And Brian worked on the case last night, and we have Gail St. John on the line to add to it tonight also. So thank you for your work, Brian, and thank you, Gail, for pitching in on this case as you always do.
Especially since
Before we get started, Gail, did you want to do what you do your psychic thing now?
That might be a good idea, so it's not,
'Cause they're gonna go
reading
into
is not
detail.
inference, because Gail knows nothing at this point except she was called on a conference call, and we have a mom of a missing child on the phone, and Gail doesn't know anything about it.
Not to spring it on you, Gail.
Yeah, sorry for that,
I
Gail.
was gonna ask, is that good or bad?
Gail St.
Did we
John.
lose Gail?
Gail.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You scared me.
Thank
I'd
you,
like
Gail,
to just-
for
You were just talking. So what do you want to do your thing? I'll take notes.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd like to hear her mom say her full name.
Okay.
Her full
So-
written name is Cynthia Ann Macklin. She's gone by Sadie to some of her friends. To us, she was either Cindy or Sis. Because she has several, actually, his, hers, and ours. We have 5 boys and 1 girl, her, Cindy.
Okay. The first thing I'm seeing when you said that is I don't feel she's gone as in deceased. So let's just put it that way right now. And with some cases, I say something's happened. With her, I feel like it's more of a gone because she wants to be gone.
Okay.
And it's not that that's a good thing, but it's a relief for me to feel that. And the funny thing is, I feel like she's gone by choice with someone that she knew or had involvement with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of what I'm seeing here, and I'm not sure it's making a lot of sense to me. Okay, I feel like I keep seeing a man with a mustache, and I'm not saying he's Hispanic, but I feel like he's got a darker, that he's not, maybe, I'm not sure if it's Hispanic, but it's like a little bit darker skin, you know what I mean? He's not real pale complected.
Uh-huh.
So he may be a mix.
Okay.
But I see a mustache on him.
Okay.
And And I keep seeing
Is it a real?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, is it a real full mustache? You know, like a grown man, or just kind of a?
To me,
A
it
little
doesn't
bit.
feel like, you know, it's just kind of a medium mustache. And the thing I keep seeing is green. I feel like I keep seeing a green car, a green vehicle, and I'm not getting a direction as much as I'd like to here, but I'm seeing I don't know what this means. They keep saying to the monument. I don't know what that means.
I didn't hear you there.
So, to the
They
monument,
keep saying they went towards the monument. What does that mean? I don't know what
Towards?
that means.
Okay.
An argument?
A monument, I think she
Monument.
said monument.
A monument.
Like
Oh,
a
a
statue or
monument.
something like that? Is that what you're talking about, Gail? Okay.
I don't know what that means. I'm confused. They headed towards the monument. So, and I don't know where you live, and I don't even know what state she's missing from. Is there a monument in your area?
Actually, if I answered that, that might confuse the reading.
Okay. Well, they went towards the monument. So does that give you an idea what direction they went?
Possibly. The
Okay.
circumstances are a little bit stretched here, so I'll be able
Okay.
to explain at the end.
Okay. So I'm just going to tell you them like it is, and no matter what it sounds like, because like I said, monument doesn't make an ounce of sense to me. But
Okay.
that doesn't matter that it makes sense to me, because it doesn't have to make sense to me. It has to make sense for you, so you understand where she's gone or going. But they went to the
Right.
monument. And
Okay.
after we talk about the monument, I feel like I go into the distance, and there's it just seems to me like it's some type of waterfall, but I don't mean like Niagara Falls. I mean, but it's a type where water comes over and goes between. It looks to me like a crevice. Water comes over it, and it's
Okay.
like I don't know if I'd call it like a camping area or but people go there
Okay.
to see it. You know what I mean? To see things
Is
and
it
see
like a
things.
natural? Are you seeing
Yeah,
it as in like a natural camping place, or like one of those places where you pay $5 and everybody's next to each other and?
No, it's natural. It's
Okay.
beautiful. It's beautiful
Okay.
to look at.
Okay, real quick,
Um,
Gail. Natural.
yeah.
Okay. What do you mean by natural camping place? I mean,
Well, no.
well,
the
I'm
water
taking notes
comes
here. I
from,
want to make
like,
sure I'm getting the right
the water
information.
comes out from like a crevice and goes down into a fall. You know, it falls from this crevice. It's beautiful.
You said
What
camping,
I've
though.
seen is beautiful.
So a waterfall.
Well, but it might come from a spring. It may not be as big as like you think, like Niagara Falls. Not like that.
Okay.
Okay, what about the camping though?
Well, it might be by an area. What I'm seeing seems like or feels like to me like people go there like it's a state or, you know,
Some type of recreation, Gail?
well, I don't know. It seems to be just a
This
tad
is
bit
kind of
more
important because we
private
can
than
look
that.
this up.
Can I break
Could,
you for a
could
minute?
it be?
Sure.
Could it be a reservation?
Did you say like it was a state or something
Yeah, like
that? Is that
state.
what I-
Yeah. Well, like state land or something.
A
Okay.
reservation?
Could it be
Deb
a
asked-
reservation?
Okay, you asked that, Gail. Is there some Indian in Cindy's jeans?
Yes.
Because when I hear reservation and I hear state land, that makes me think about, that.
I mean, okay,
And I
so
thought
native.
you had
Wait,
heard something
I'm
mentioned
taking notes.
earlier.
Native American. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, I don't know, but it's really beautiful, and I feel like this comes up from natural springs. And this may
Deborah?
be even warmer water. As strange as that sounds,
Okay,
I feel like the water has warmth to it.
Okay.
Well, that would be a spring.
I
then.
think of springs, I think of ice cold water.
That'd be a warm spring.
I see this and I feel warmth.
Okay, well, real quick.
Warmth as in like a physical warmness, or warmth as in an emotional
Physical warmness.
attachment? Okay.
Physical warmness. This seems to be warmer than your average, what I would call cold water or freshwater spring.
Okay, so there's nothing around it that would be heating it, so thus it'd probably be like a warm spring.
It could be, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Why I'm asking these questions is because we can look this stuff up. That's stuff like that. That's more
it's absolutely
specific.
beautiful, but it seems to be more of a warm water thing. And I don't see, like I said, it's not a big waterfall, but it's coming down this crevice in drops.
Okay, Deborah, I want to
Down.
clear something up. You said
Very
Indian.
small, kind of narrow, but pretty.
Native American, right? That's that what mean? That's that what you mean?
I
Or the
feel
state.
like it's more of a private land, so it's
No,
either
Deborah.
state owned or something, but it's private.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
I did see some, like, I don't know, trailers there, like camping trailers, but they're not close together. But there are some there. It kind of has a community feel to it in a way. But when I say community feel, I feel like it's kind of backwards. And when I look at this area, it butts up kind of to a small town that I think begins with like T or T-E-S or T-A-S, something T in it. I got a quick glimpse and didn't get a chance to see it all. Up against a very small town. I don't know how you consider it town, but like village or something, but it's very small.
Okay.
Now, it seemed like desert land to me.
Pardon?
It seems sort of like desert land to me.
Okay.
I'm not seeing a lot of like what I would see here in Ohio, like, you know, acres upon acres of green grass. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It looks very different to me. It's very different. And it's something I'm not used to seeing.
And what is your home general, not to compromise where you live, but just to...
Oh, I'm in
I
Ohio. I
understand.
think everybody knows that I live in Ohio.
Oh, okay. So I'm just trying to understand what, you know, is different in your mind, terrain.
Yeah. Ohio's so flat and so, you know what I mean, just very flat.
So, out of curiosity, is there any mountainous or mossy type things that you're seeing?
Rock was what bothered. It looked to have some rock, and I saw kind of reddish, kind of dirt, maybe red and tan, kind of dirt. Now I say not real bright red, but I'm saying kind of that reddish tan look to it, and I don't know exactly how that fits in or what it means exactly.
Right. Okay.
Well, Gail, when you say reddish, you're talking more about clay? A clay soil?
it might be kind of clayish kind of mixture.
Okay,
Or is
you know,
it like volcanic?
I don't want to say anything more because I don't want to, you know, speak about
Yeah, it's hard to say. All I
she was
know is,
missing from, or, you know.
yeah, all I can tell you is it's a mix. It looks to me like a mixture. It's definitely not like the clay I have, because I live on solid clay ground, you know, where if you pick up a clod of it, it's dangerous. You could actually use it as a weapon.
I've lived on clay before, but I've lived on clay in a different part of the United States. And I guess I just don't want to say anything more at this point because I don't want to influence your reading, Gail.
Right.
Go, please. Thank you for
My
your help.
question about the reddish clay, is there any kind of volcanic type, have you ever seen volcanic rock? To where it's rock, it's like extra large gravel, but it has very porous, it's lighter than you would expect it to be.
Not really. I mean, I've seen that. So it'd be hard for me to compare. But I did see some large rock where this water was coming out of. Like it wasn't just dirt, because it came down over, like I said, it made a crevice in these rocks, and it was running down the rock. And to me, I just got a very up close look, and it was very pretty.
Okay. And is there any moss in that area?
I didn't really see anything. It seemed to be kind of dry.
Okay.
And for now, that's about all I have. That doesn't mean I won't see something later as we're talking, but for now, that's what I have.
Right.
All right, Gail, let me sum this up real fast, too. Let me get this. Okay. I got, she wants to be gone. Dark man, possibly Hispanic, mustache, medium type mustache, green car. Went towards the monument. Once again, I wrote went towards the monument. We don't know what monument that is yet, right?
No, not unless her mom knows.
Okay. Crevasse, water goes over it. Camping, nature. Waterfall. You said it's a beautiful waterfall. State land. Deborah, you said Indian, Indian like Native American, correct? Not state like Indiana.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify.
Okay,
and
okay.
I don't think we have any Indians
Okay.
as much prevalent in. I mean, if you tried to think that Indiana, the state of Indiana, was made up of just Native American people, who a lot.
No, I wasn't exactly sure what like Indiana. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Trying to figure that out.
Warm Springs.
The Native American quantum in Cindy isn't even enough to register.
Okay.
Mine is.
Warm
so
Spring.
that,
There's a warm spring here. There's warm springs, but there's not too many warm springs out there. Small
like
town.
This is warmer though than normal. Like when we have
Okay.
springs, and Deb should know what I'm talking about, up in Michigan.
We have springs here. I live in Berkeley
Right,
Springs.
actually in the Upper Peninsula, Gail, I lived for some years in a UP town, and it's a really tiny town with a few hundred people, and there's a wonderful spring there. When I was just a small girl, and I'm 31 now, we used to go there and get our water, and it's still operational.
You live under a volcano.
I mean, it's ice cold.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's ice cold.
You live under a volcano. It's going to erupt. Small town, desert land, clay, reddish type of clay. Am I missing anything else?
Well, I would think, Brian, you have what Gail was saying, and my opinion with that information is that it might be somewhere down south.
Okay.
That she might be more on a southern end. What do you think, Gail? I mean,
I don't even know. I don't even have a direction. I mean,
because it's really cold in Michigan right now, and so I would think that goes for a lot of the northern U.S. And when red clay is brought up, I think of that being more toward the southern states, because I lived down south for a few years.
And would they have desert land? Would they have desert land though?
Yeah, well, in the southern states they would, yes. You wouldn't find any desert land up north. So I'm kind of looking at this as being more of a southern state at this point, based on what you've said.
And I couldn't, like I said, I don't know where she went missing from. I don't know anything about it, but it just.
If you're talking about like
clay, compared to me living in Ohio, I didn't see green grass.
State land, I'm thinking like Nevada, Arizona.
In Michigan, so that's kind of like the. We don't have desert here, and you didn't see green grass. There's no green grass by me right now, and I doubt there'd be any.
Yeah, but I'm not. Usually they'll show me representative of where, what it would normally look like. And I didn't see any. It's just the whole land, the whole layout was very different from what I'm used to living in.
Well, you're living in the Midwest as I am right now, and I'm originally from the Midwest, and I grew up in the Midwest. So, that being said, what you're describing does not seem like a, Midwest type town. And I guess we're
the
considered
whole field is very different.
And
Yeah,
I can
describe
with, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and she's not describing here.
I will say at this point, without giving information to Gail, that Cindy Macklin is missing from an area quite a bit of a distance from where her mom lives. And we do have her mom, Deb, on the phone right now.
Yeah, and I have no.
West.
Okay,
Is where she lives.
Gail, I've got your notes.
If I had to say what it feels to me, Brian, the most like, would be out west, and I haven't been to very many.
Well, that's
states
what I'm
out
saying.
West.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds to me like, you know, Nevada, Arizona, one of those states.
Yeah, it has a feel for that because I saw desert and I saw things that I didn't recognize. For me,
Oh,
here in
that's
Ohio,
not
it's
what I
grass and
had, but
cornfields and soybeans.
but yeah. Oh, okay. What? Okay. All right. Gail. I have your notes. I posted them. They're on the website now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's do what we were supposed to do now, Deborah.
Okay.
Let's get the information out on the case.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm going to give some vital statistics for Cindy Macklin, for Cynthia and Macklin.
Okay.
And Mom is going to tell you the circumstances of what has happened.
Okay.
And why this beautiful child is missing. And then we'll talk about some things we can do to help.
Okay.
Cynthia Ann Macklin goes by Cindy. And her mom has also said that she goes by Sadie, which is something that I found when I was researching this case also. I've spoken with her mom, Deb, quite a bit actually. We talked for a while on the phone the other day, and we talked again today. And I'm really glad that she decided to come on the show. Cindy has been missing since January 28th, 2009. And to me, that's significant to remember it's January 28th, 2009, because there was some errors in reporting Cindy being missing, and it was stated at times in the media and, you know, early on in the investigation that she was missing on January 30th. No, she was actually missing January 28th, 2009, this year, which was a Wednesday. Early in the morning was the last time that she was seen. Her date of birth is April 2nd of 1993. She was 15 when she went missing. She's had a birthday recently. She's a white female, 5 feet 4 inches tall, 110 pounds. She has brown hair and hazel eyes. She is missing from Backcliff, Backliff, Texas, in the United States.
Baycliff.
Baycliff, thank you for that. She's missing from Baycliff, Texas. At the time that she went missing, she was living with her father. And we have her mother, Deb, on the phone, who resides in the state of Washington. So she's more in the north. Cindy was last seen wearing a black leather jacket, blue jeans, and a gray hooded sweatshirt. She also had on white shoes, as far as what I've been able to tell. So there's a physical description of her. Please be aware that she may change her appearance. Her hair was relatively short at the time that she went missing. She could change her hair color. Her natural hair color is something her mom will correct me if I'm wrong, and I want her to do so. From the discussions we've had, I think it's sort of a blondish, kind of a dishwater type blonde. Am I correct on that?
Can get some highlights if it has a lot of sun on it, but she does dye it different colors often. And the last time she was seen, it was cut short, and it was dyed fairly dark brown, and she told me herself it had a slight red tint to it that she didn't care for.
Okay, so her hair color was not her natural color when she went missing. And, you know, in that age bracket of teenagers, my youngest is 16. I have one several years older, and they changed their hair colors and they changed their appearances, that type of thing. And Cindy could have done it many times.
Cindy also changes her dress a lot.
Right, I was going to bring that up. So she may be recognized as dressing more like a male than a female, correct?
It could be either way at this point. She's a very pretty little girl, but she has a fine enough still that she can cover that she's a girl too. And that's
Well, Brian
that's
opened this case up. There are different pictures of Cindy, of Cynthia and Macklin, and
yes,
there's
the
different looks.
MySpace.
Her hair is long, even.
Her MySpace site is probably the best point I have at this point. I'm getting some other sites that are going to be going up soon. But the MySpace, if you, well, you have the URL for it. You understand those more than I. Maybe you could say. And I'm asking people to please look at that, even if you don't go on MySpace normally, because that has all of her different looks. It has her looking like a boy, has her natural color, her dark hair color, short, long, in a dress, in men's clothes, because she's a little chameleon.
Well, with what she was wearing when she went missing, that was a black leather jacket and a gray footed sweatshirt. Her hair was rather short at the time. She could appear to look like a boy. In fact, the clothes she was wearing were a little more on the boyish side. But when I looked at photos of her, I actually saw some. I saw one from a school dance, and she looked just gorgeous in a dress.
Yes.
When she went to this dance. So, you know, that could make things a little more difficult as far as identifying her. But if people are aware, and there's several photos, Brian opened this case and worked on it here, and the case number is 735, and that is for Cynthia and Macklin. Brian has linked to the MySpace account. He has also linked to Deb's Photo Bucket account that has recent photos of Cindy in it. What I'd like to make clear is when Cindy went missing, her father provided a photo to law enforcement and to Texas EquuSearch. That photo was from 2005. Now, at the time that she went missing, she's 15 years old. We're talking about 4 years. You know, it's 2009 right now. There are more recent photos, so please check out the MySpace and check out the Photo Bucket account to look at a more current photo of Cindy. And check out the different looks.
All right, I'm in the MySpace right now. It said it's private.
People that know her, that have seen her growing up, actually did not put together her missing poster that they have out with the Texas EquuSearch and the Galveston County Sheriff. Didn't put it together.
Right. I know that there's a more current poster, and I believe that that was made by someone who is a member at Help Find the Missing, which is a forum. And that person made a poster for her. We're hoping that in the very near future, she will be listed at the NCMEC. There's been a little miscommunication, I believe, with law enforcement. And the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children needs the okay from law enforcement in order to list someone. The other thing that's important is, Brian, you just brought up that this MySpace account, which I think is wonderful, and I'm so grateful to
I can't get in. You gotta approve me first.
Okay, well, Cynthia's mom's friend that is taking care of this MySpace account, that is Cindy Macklin Missing, is the URL, myspace.com/Cindy Macklin Missing. When I tried to join it the other day, and I looked at it, it is set to private. Not only is it set to private if you want to make a friend request and to look at the photos that are there, it's also listed that you need to know the last name or the email address of the person who has the account. And I did put in the information for Deb, who's on the phone here, Cindy's mom, and her last name and her email address did not work. So I know that with most missing people, and even with my private, not my private, with my personal MySpace account, which I use mainly for missing people, anyone that knows me knows that that's why I have a MySpace to begin with. I don't set mine to private at all, and nobody has to know my name or my email address in order to request to be my friend. I do be careful to make sure that I don't get any so-called creepers as friends, you know, but if we want to get Cindy's photo, her photo is actually, in the plural sense, out there, it might be a good idea to open that MySpace up and take the restrictions off.
Yeah, actually, I think what I'm going to have to do is take it over from my friend. I may actually have to completely redo the site. But if I have to redo it, it will be, you know, something Cynthia and Macklin missing. It will be something with her specific name that we have discussed in the URL, if I have to redo that.
Right. I'm sure your friend would not have a problem with making it a little more user-friendly. After I spoke with you for quite a while, I did, like I said, try to join it. And since I don't know your friend, you know, who's managing the MySpace, and I think it's wonderful that your friend is doing this. The only thing is, when I've seen missing persons MySpaces, they're not listed as private. So anyone could hit that page and anyone could view the MySpace photos without even having to be a friend, which in getting the awareness out there, the main goal is, the main goal is getting the photo out there no matter what it takes. We want as many people.
We're also in process of putting together her own web page. So even people that don't deal with MySpace, I know a lot of people don't choose to use that or go there. And so within the next few days, we're hoping to have a site up on the net, specifically something like Cynthia and Macklin.com, or it hasn't been decided yet, so I wouldn't write that one down. But it would be able to be picked up in a search engine. I know very little about computers, and currently a man has volunteered to help me with that.
Well, that's wonderful, and thank you to the person, I know you told us about that earlier tonight. Thank you so much that you're willing to get that site up, because MySpace accounts, Facebook accounts, and websites for missing persons are crucial with getting the word out. There is so much to be gained by getting the awareness out there on the internet, as we know by looking at other cases.
I just made a Facebook page today. Like I said, I'm pretty computer illiterate, so I don't know that it works all the way. I'm doing the best I can here, and I'm kicking myself because it's just not enough. But I've gotten the Twitter. Just today, I've managed to Twitter, Blogger, let's see my list, help find the missing. There's a Galveston newspaper article on there that has a picture. The MySpace, which we discussed. Clementine is a band under 411gina.org, where you can go.
That's a wonderful organization. That's a wonderful organization to get awareness out.
They actually contacted us. They were absolutely fantastic. So Cindy has been played so far in Hollywood by Clementine Craig Jackson. He's a volunteer with them, a musician. He played in Tennessee, and they're being played. She's being shown in Boston. Let's see.
Well, now when you're joining forums and you're joining sites and you're getting the awareness out on the internet, it's important for people to know that the name that Cynthia's mom, Cindy's mom here, who's on the show tonight, is using, her name is Deb. She is using the name Cynthia Mac Mom, or is it Cindy Mac Mom? I have to double check that.
Cynthia. Yeah, Cynthia
Mac Mom.
Mac
Yep.
Mom.
So when you see that, it's going to be much the same as someone who's been looking for their daughter for a few years, which I brought the case up to her when I spoke to her earlier, and that's Glendine Grant, who's Jessie Foster's mom. She has a new site right now, and it's called findjessie.com. And she's trying to get awareness out there, and she does great work trying to get awareness for other missing persons out there. And it sounds like, you know, Cindy could be out there in the adult world and could have gotten herself mixed up with something that she shouldn't have.
Cindy has a medical condition that requires medication. She has also had recent abscess teeth, which can be quite dangerous if left unmanaged.
Well, when I spoke to you, you brought up abscess teeth, and you also brought up that when she went missing, she did have an appointment at the time to have her wisdom teeth removed also. So she
That's
could be
correct.
looking dental.
That's correct.
Well, there's some people out there that think that, a 15-year-old, and she's had a birthday since she's gone missing, that they're just runaways, and it is okay for them to do this. And I'm sorry, being a mom myself, and my youngest of 3 children being 16 years old, looking at maturity levels and then being able to handle themselves in the world, that scares me. I still view them as a child at the age of 15 and 16.
She's very smart, and she walked out of that door on her own 2 feet. She's absolutely an incredibly bright child, but that is exactly what she is, a child. And I believe that when she left, she was going to do, whatever she was going to go do, go play, or I have no idea. But when she left, I think it was by her own choice. However, she had not had medication, which influences some of her behaviors. And it's quite important to having her be able to conduct her life in a typical manner, I would say. Without the medication, she tends to make very impulsive decisions. A lot of times, we've seen extremely poor judgment and character. And my concern is the combination of lacking the medication, therefore not having some of the self-control, combining it with being in an adult world and still having being a child herself. She's not a runaway. She's in danger. She has health problems. That alone puts her in danger without having treatment, and I know she does not. She's also had a good string of asthma. Everybody was talking about this flu at the beginning of the broadcast. If she gets something like this, usually when she gets sick hard. And if she's out on her own, she may not have help.
Well, if she has asthma, you said that she's asthmatic. As far as the flu goes with that, they talk about it affecting people's lungs. And,
Yes.
We all know that with getting the flu at times. Well, people with asthma, they're already compromised in that regard. And I wouldn't want to bet that she actually has her inhaler with her if she needs it. So,
according to her father, when she left with absolutely nothing. She even left there was a $20 check in her room that she left there, uncashed.
So when she left, she pretty much left with nothing. And I know when I spoke to you, initially you told me that she didn't have her cell phone or anything with her.
Nothing. No cell phone, no iPod.
On her own.
Yeah, she walked out with the clothes on her back. The one thing I want to point out about Cindy, I call her sister, so if that's a confusion. Anyway, I want to point out that because we see so many different faces, and since my daughter's gone missing, I've realized how many missing people there are on this planet, and it is crushing. I always felt like I was a good citizen. I walked into Walmart, I stopped, and I looked at all the posters and tried to memorize all the faces. And realistically, we can't. We don't memorize those faces. And so I would like the viewers and listeners to know that Cindy has a couple of fidgety habits. Everybody has, you see somebody shaking their foot or whatnot. Cindy actually picks at the skin of her thumb, between the cuticle and the knuckle on her thumb with her own fingernails. And she's had a habit of that for so long that her thumbs look kind of scarred up and scratched up from the top knuckle up near the fingernail itself. If they could be even bleeding. She also has many earring holes going up both sides of her ears, and she plays with them. She crosses her stomach across with one arm, balances her elbow on her hand, and then twists with that hand her earring.
Well, as far as piercing, and if I remember correctly, when we were talking initially, you said that she had attempted possibly to either pierce her navel or have it done by someone, and there could be a scar there, but other than that scar, there is no other piercings at this point that you know of.
That I am aware of. However, she had gone to see her dad, and he has refused me access, to say politely, seeing her for 3 years. So I don't know, and let me clear that up. This is not a case where he has her. Her father does not know where she is also. We just happen to have some custody type issues going on. And,
well, as children start to get older, which is I think the situation in this case, they're able to make determinations.
Exactly.
As far as who they want to stay with, and whether that's done in a court of law or not is really not relevant, because if a child's wanting to be with a different parent, you know, you want to do what's best for your child, and if you say no, they may just do it anyway. So
well,
she
that's
wasn't.
kind of what happened, and so when he took her with them, I didn't really fight it because she needed to know him. She remembered him. We divorced when she was born. She remembered him, and she had her hopes and ideals, and she had been pretty frustrated by it and had asked me if she could come home. And we were planning for her to come back to Washington State, where I live, thus asking Gail the questions about the moss and the, my thought was initially what she was describing was a place close to my home where if Cindy was wishing, you know, wherever she is, if she was wishing to come home, she might be thinking about this specific area, which has a waterfall, but it has moss on the rock.
Speaking of that, I've been researching some of the what Gail's saying. Gail, I found something. There's a Warm Springs reservation in Oregon. I mean, it has waterfalls, camping, and everything. I don't know, is that...
Well, where is she actually missing from?
She's missing from Texas.
Okay. Okay.
But she's a Forks, Washington kid.
This what I'm saying. This, I'll send you a link though. It's got clay and everything else that she talked about. That's all I could find so far. It's actually it's a reservation. Actually, it includes the summit of Mount Jefferson, which there's a mountain, and there's warm springs, and there's clay, and all the stuff that you described is there. But
what is the monument that you couldn't tell me before? What was that?
Well, that kind of comes into Brian's dream drawing. So I think that should maybe... other than that, the only monument I would know of as like a monument would be in the Dalles, Oregon. My grandfather's family was very influential in that area, and there's a monument of one of my grandfather's ancestors, I suppose I should say.
Is your daughter, is Cindy aware of that, Deb? That monument exists?
Yes.
Okay.
She does know that's there.
Now, I was, while we were talking about Cindy and different things about her that might help people identify her, I was getting ready to ask Brian to share what he had on this case. Brian worked on the case last night. What do you have on it, Brian?
Oh, hang on.
The one thing, can I say something really quick?
Sure.
The one thing that I do believe is that because Cindy did not contact myself on her 16th birthday, I firmly believe, even though she left, you know, she walked out, I believe that something has become an issue for her because
Something has prevented her from being able to. I have a question on that, and I haven't asked you this before. In most cases, in most of our states, you can have your driver's license when you're 16. Did she have her permit or her temps, as someone may call them, from another state, or from my generation, actually, we called it having your temps. Did she know what she was doing there as far as driving?
Her father refused to let her learn to drive, but I do know from her own mouth that some of her friends were teaching her how. So she doesn't have a permit or a temp, so to speak, but I believe she has the ability to drive a car if she got stuck, you know, and needed to.
Okay, so there's no way to trace her via any records, which I'm sure law enforcement must be looking into to see if she has anything in the United States at this point, but she does know how to drive a motor vehicle if it were to be necessary for her to.
Good if she was pinpointed, and that's the only way she could, you know, I think she's driven circles in the parking lot with her friends before, type thing. You know,
right?
She has not had actual lessons and gotten her card yet, and she does not have her driver's license.
What I find important is anyone who has trained new drivers before, and I have, since, you know, my children are a little bit older, in their late teens right now. What happens is when you've never driven before, you're not used to it, you tend to kind of stomp the brake, and people may get kind of a whiplash just from you touching the brake. You don't realize how sensitive things are. And the same thing when you touch the gas pedal. You know, it might leave a bit, but it sounds like she, you know, if they're doing donuts in a parking lot, she kind of knows what's going on as far as driving. And yes, we do have people out there driving all the time on a daily basis who do not have licenses. So, you know, I wanted to know if she does know how to drive, you know, and that type of thing.
I believe she could. Yes, I believe she's had some experience, and but like I had brought up, I really believe that because not only because her birthday has come and gone, and we were very close, but also I had been extremely ill right before she left, extremely, like a very serious surgery. And she was very uncomfortable with that. She was very scared for me. Last year I almost died because of a serious infection also. So for her to not contact me for this long, there's some kind of an issue. What it is, I can't say. And that's where I'm hoping, between Brian and Gail and yourself, all your hard work behind the scenes, maybe we can try to work that out.
Well, I'm sorry, Deb, but I have no special insight. I just deal with what, you know, I can find out. One thing I did find out when I was online is that when I was researching the case, you and your daughter, it's not just that you say that you were close. You know, you refer to being ill, having major surgery, and I'm so glad that you're fine and you're with us tonight. You know, children will worry about their parents, and I would think that she would contact you in that type of situation. And also 16, she turned 16 the beginning of April. That's like a milestone, and no one's heard from her. She may have left, you know, and her classification at this point, until further notice, is, you know, of a runaway status of some sort. But the thing that's different is that law enforcement and the media have asked for the public's help, which with runaway cases, we know that they don't always give that much attention to it. When they ask for the public to help, they're asking because there's a reason for it. You know, Cindy needs some medication. She possibly may not be thinking as clearly as she could, although we could possibly blame teenage behavior for that. But she could, you know, with needing medication, she could need just a little more help than that. You know, raising teenagers myself, I know that they don't always make the mature decisions. They may think they do, they may think they know it all, but at the end of the day, they don't. So, you know, I know that when I talked to you initially, even though I found nothing online, and even with her runaway status,
People hear runaway and they immediately think, oh, they'll be back.
Yeah, they think they'll be right back, or, you know, like they treat adult missing cases.
Yeah,
they're allowed to.
It changes it from a missing child that needs to come home and could be in a bad position and needs, you know, adult awareness and society to watch out for them. It turns it into a trouble kid that just doesn't care and doesn't want to be found and leave it alone. And that's not the case.
Well, I'm grateful to law enforcement and the media at this point that they flagged this case and gave it a little more attention. And I know there's been some stumbling along the way and that type of thing, but hopefully Cindy will be listed, Cynthia and Macklin will be listed at National Center for Missing and Exploited Children very soon. You know, we've talked about having to do things to bring awareness to her case. You told me about someone who had contacted Nancy Grace. And that's something that a lot of the readers, listeners, followers of Brian's site and of Gail's also do, is they send emails. They will sit and fire out emails to get attention to cases. So we will be
anybody who's willing, go for it. My sister actually sent a letter in the first week. Maybe it was the second week that Cindy was gone, and we haven't heard anything from Nancy Grace.
Well,
actually,
as many
people are the first ones who have responded to me, and I can't believe the rate that you responded. It was almost within 2 hours. So
well, thank you. We'll do.
So I will say, Nancy Grace did not even respond to the Adji as much as we tried to Adji Desir's case, so I wouldn't put too much into that.
That's why
we did have response from local media though, Gail, and that's important. So hopefully someone will pick this up.
Well, I do have someone today that I spoke with who may have been going to be out there. So, I mean, I'm getting more and more contact with teens that are willing to go out and look for missing persons when we can't make it. So, even in a case like this, we may eventually be able to get these teams deployed out to these areas.
Well, the other thing that's wonderful is there's people posting in the forums and emailing of Brian's readers and followers, and I'm sure that they're doing the same with you. They're reading and following your work also, Gail. Is they're trying to look for these missing persons in their areas. And that's something that's been promoted before. You know, as far as people in their areas, someone goes missing or is missing. I think we've all fought
for that. We've all fought to bring awareness to who's missing in your area, because we're saying you don't have to be psychic, and you certainly don't have to, you know, do dream drawings. You don't have. All you have to do is care.
Yeah, just print a poster, get out, post posters out there, public view.
Mm-hmm. If you can, organize, like out and search.
That's why I was hoping with telling a little bit about her habits. You know, somebody may see her come in, pay for a energy drink, and notice, you know, there's this beautiful girl with these chewed up little thumbs.
Well, if someone were to, if she were to pay for an energy drink and hand the money over, that's something that could very well be noticed. And a lot of people don't understand the little things that could bring an identity to the missing person. So that's important.
Mm-hmm.
And what brand of energy drink is that she prefers? Last you knew?
I don't know, because we didn't have that stuff in my house because I didn't need kids bouncing off the walls. The one.
But she loves her energy drinks.
Pardon?
She loves the energy drinks, though, correct?
I believe so. I mean, there's pictures of her with them in her hand. She is an absolute sugar fiend. She loves candy. She loves Cheetos. she, let me think. I had something else in my mind and it just escaped me, so.
Well, for everyone that's listening and everyone that reads along for Cindy's case, Deb is going to keep us informed. We're going to try to get more information out there regarding Cindy's disappearance. And as far as what we've talked about so far, I know that people are listening in the chat room, people are listening on the broadcast, they're even listening when this is in the archives. Please share this information. Please show her photo. And there's links out there in order to print a poster of Cindy. Please get them out in your area. You never know where she may be or when you can make a difference. And as far as earlier when we talked about media contacts, that's something that has been done in cases before. And like I said, once in a while, you know, we may have something happen where a news agency of some sort picks up a story. There's so many people missing, but if we keep it out there, you know, you may bring some awareness.
Everybody needs to understand, too, this is not just a runaway that didn't care. She was an ROTC. She had an officer position. She had just been so excited she passed all of her finals. You know, she had plans. She had stuff going. So it's not like she was just finishing things out and, you know, was going to go run off.
Well, I know when we spoke earlier when we were talking, it was, you said to me, and it's something that you hadn't really said when we had talked previously, and I hadn't shared anything that we had talked about previously with Brian, and the first time that he talked to you was this evening, when I gave him the phone number to add you for the show tonight. You talked about where you thought that maybe she could have decided to do something, and then just thought sort of excuse my French, but screw it type attitude. She was going to go do what she wanted for a short time, possibly a weekend or a few days, and then she'd be back and take her consequences. And that was something you hadn't put it to me like that before. And, you know, this is a case where, yes, she was listed as a runaway, and she is, but there's extenuating circumstances. And with the work that Brian did last night, I gave him no indication that I thought this could be of a trafficking or smuggling nature. It was not listed in what I read on the internet, and I asked you about that when we spoke initially.
Right.
And you said that you thought so. You know, you had done some reading on Jessie Foster's case. She's been missing since '06, and all the work that her
hero.
Yeah, Glendine is awesome.
She's my hero. I wish everybody's mom had that fortuitousness. She just, yeah, she's my hero.
Well, that's the thing is, from all the cases I look at, I know there's so many more that I don't see as far as people that are missing in their cases. But from the ones I've seen, Glendine does so much. And recently she has a new website for Jessie, and that's findjessie, JESSIE.com. And information there about Jessie, and also information that can help loved ones of missing persons. You know, things that they can do to try to find their missing loved one and other things. She does so much, not just for her daughter, but for everyone out there. And I did speak with her earlier today, and we talked about Cindy's case. And she didn't recognize Cindy's case by name, but she recognized it by circumstances, as far as the time frame that she went missing, that she had a birthday since then. You know, and Jessie Foster, at this point, it looks like she's missing due to human trafficking, as are several others. And it could be that your daughter is caught up in that at this point. And if that's the case, she needs help, and someone needs to find her.
All kids need help, run away or not, because if they're of the mentality that they need to run away, and then they need help. You know, either their home life is bad enough that they do need to get out, or they're confused enough that they need help. It's just, you know, whether they actually run or not. It's a time where a kid is crying out for relief.
Well, I think it's important that earlier when, you know, Brian first called you and I hadn't told him anything yet, his response, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but your response was, she's a kid. And, you know,
Yeah,
with me raising children and them being in their teens at this point,
yeah, I was going to bring up some points too.
I back that. Your children are younger, but mine are not. And yes, they are still a kid at 15 or 16, and they need help. What have you got to say on this case?
Oh, me?
Yep.
It's my turn now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you,
Ryan.
Okay. Well, while you guys were talking, I was doing some research, basically on some laws in Texas. If you guys know, Texas does not play around when it comes to laws. The age of consent in Texas is 17, and also the age of adulthood is 17. So anybody younger than the age of 17 is considered a minor. Thus, who's ever responsible for that person is responsible for that person, via who she was living with her father. If she was knowingly taken by somebody or left with somebody over 3 years age of her, so 15, 16, an 18 or 19-year-old, and they were to have any type of sexual relations or something like that, there could be a warrant issued for statutory rape. Section 21.11. There's a bunch of laws I think you could use in this case to force the police into doing something, especially if they cross state lines. So there's a lot of stuff. Cynthia went missing January 28th. That's exactly 3 months as of today. Did you know that? Today's a 3 month.
Yeah.
She was
My heart
15.
knows it.
She was. Yeah. It's. I'm really sorry to hear that. She was 15. That's a kid. 15 years old is a kid. Despite how they look, how they act, she's a kid. And thus kids are not responsible for all their actions. You might want to say and think that or stereotype this. A missing, endangered runaway is a missing person, a missing child. This is a missing child, just like any other missing child, and it needs the attention that a missing child case gets. Googling her name is a disgrace. When I'm getting more results for the Kaylee Anthony case, not even related to this case at all, except for a name, something on a subpoena.
That is one of the biggest problems I've had. When you put in Cynthia Macklin,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the grandmother Cynthia in the Kaylee Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of the lawyers or representation is Macklin.
Yeah, there's more results there.
So
I've been able to find one photo other than the password protected stuff. But yeah, she's been missing for 3 months. 3 months is a long time. A kid just doesn't run away for 3 months. A 15-year-old kid, unless something's happened or there's some reason she did not do this by herself. She's not working a job and taking care of herself. Somebody had something to do with this. What I have gotten, this is from the dream drawing from last night. The first one says, works with bricks. He asked her to go to Dallas for a concert. There's a drawing of this gentleman, looks like a young adult, maybe in his 20s, male. This does not look like the person that Gail described, unless he shaved his mustache, but I just didn't get the feeling that this was the person that Gail described. The second one says arena. Arena 314. Actually, that number 1 actually might be a dash. I think that might be a parking lot in an arena. This arena might be where this concert in Dallas was to take place or is to take place. It's also saying that she could possibly be staying at his mom's house, not her mom's. The gentleman she may be staying with, his mom's house, and she does not know that she is missing. Probably for the fact is that she did know, she would report it to the police. The next one says bricks, like it said in the first dream drawing, not a runaway, will be set free. Now, just from what I'm getting on this, remember this is a dream, I don't really remember my dreams too well. To me, this looks like she is not there willingly, especially if it says, not a runaway and will be set free. Being set free means you didn't want to be there. So I think there is some reason why she's not coming home, she's not calling or something like that, and I think it might be out of her control. Looking at that though, I do not think she's meant any harm. I don't think that Gail has got anything. I mean, looking at this, I know a lot of symbols now that I'm getting used to that a lot have to do with death and harm and stuff. Gail, did you get anything about her, being in any type of harm? I don't know if Gail's still with us. Gal's Skyping me. Apparently, she's having problems with the computer. Yeah, we know about that case. Okay. Well, I'm waiting on Gail's typed response.
Well, the thing is, for everyone that's listening right now, all Brian knew was this was a missing person. I talk to families, family members of missing loved ones on a regular basis when I'm working on cases helping Brian, and Brian knew nothing of this, and there wasn't anything listed when I researched it regarding possibility of human trafficking or she can't get home. This was listed as a runaway case, and based on looking at Jessie Foster's case, Angela Finger's, other cases that look to be human trafficking, which I've learned a lot about recently in the past months, helping Brian, I asked Deb if it could be, and that is what she suspected. So Brian knew nothing before he worked on this last night.
Well,
and it looks like
I usually don't know
dealing
anything.
With the case of a runaway, that may have been the initial intent, but it looks like this young lady could have gotten herself into something she didn't bargain for, and she can't get home now.
All right, Gail, are you with us, or can you talk or Skype? Is your audio working?
Yeah, I think it's working now.
Okay, so you didn't feel.
Yes,
I want to know this. Did you?
Good.
You didn't feel any immediate danger? Then that's I guess what I'm getting at.
Not immediate danger as much as there. I feel like there's a bit of trouble now. There's an issue.
Well, there's definitely an issue. There's got to be.
There's an issue
Right.
Because I feel like there's talk about what could happen or what's going to happen.
Okay. All right. Now I've gotten your notes. I've compared them with mine. I'm not exactly sure if any of it meets. I really couldn't find too many things in common. Actually, nothing at all really. But not to say that I'm right, you're right. That doesn't really matter. But she did go missing from Texas, and it did say Dallas. So I'm beginning to think that might have something to do with it. I don't know. But we can rework this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel there's an issue as if it's been a discussion as to what will happen.
Well, we know in situations of there could be possibly human trafficking, that one of the main ways they use to control people, there's a couple different ways. One of the biggies is controlling them with drugs. Yes, exactly.
Drugs, and
Brian.
the next one is fear.
The other one could be threats of harm to
I'm going to kill your family.
Harm to the family, but drugs and, with some history with Cindy, she could be more susceptible to things with those drugs, effects of those drugs. And, she has a medical condition, and we know that medical conditions do not mix well with drugs. Bottom line is, she is a child. And I say that with having my youngest being 16 years old. She's still a child, and that is how old Cindy is right now. We need to do something, whether it be getting more information out there so people know she's missing and they might recognize her, which we're working on. And, like you said, it's a disgrace to Google Cynthia Macklin and find not much. I experienced the same thing.
That Gail said that there's a discussion or something like I feel, and this is actually why I chose to contact Brian, is I feel like there's an immediate something going to change. And an extra every parent.
Could that be a bad thing, right? That she needs help really, or it could be really, not a good situation, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, I can't say, that if she's okay, maybe she is being detained, which I do believe that to be the case. Against her will, rather, I should specify. But, what do you do? What do you do with somebody that you've held for 3 months, that people have seen, that, it's kind of part of the, do you do more publicity or not? Because what could be the outcome? And I don't know, I just feel that she can't get home, she can't call me, she's not being allowed to, for how, whatever reason they're holding her, I don't know, but something is going to change soon.
I think I agree with you on that one. I mean, it's per the DD. That's what it does say, that they will release her. I don't know. One thing gets me is I think we should get rid of the word runaway, endangered, or something like that. If she's 15, missing child, abducted. Why not say that? Because that's really what happened. I mean, if a 15-year-old can't vote, they can't. They don't. I mean, they can't. The laws don't pertain to them. I mean, they're not responsible for a lot of things. Why say that they ran away and they're she's 15.
Well,
that's a child. A child. 15 is a child to me.
Technically, they're not even saying that she's endangered. My acquaintance that I met on the MySpace that did the missing poster for me, I explained some of her conditions, and he chose to, on his own esteem, put endangered on there as well.
Okay, definitely endangered. She's gone for 3 months. There's no doubt. I mean, that's I don't get it. But we'll try everything we can to get attention.
Ryan.
Yeah.
You're talking about Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the area that I saw could fit Texas.
Okay. What I did is I just Googled the things that you were saying, and I did came up with a campground.
I'm just telling you, some of the area could fit Texas.
Okay.
It could.
All right. What I'm saying is you may be, Deb, you may be able to use some legal loophole. And I would talk to a lawyer. You may be able to use some type of a legal law there that would say, hey, the police have to act on this because this is a felony. Somebody took her across state lines. She's 15. You've broken all kinds of laws here. To maybe include some statutory rape laws or whatever laws apply. And I know Texas is very tough on.
Oh, Debbie, do you talk to her father ever?
Yes, I've been talking to him. He's complicated the case a little bit.
Have you been to Texas before?
So I was born in Texas.
Okay, so. Where's the Texas with the statue with the horse?
I was born in Texas.
Wow,
that would be. I was Air Force family. I left when I was 3 years old. But I can Google that right now. Because I know what you're talking about.
Statue with the horse.
Yes.
Near her city.
I know what you're talking about.
Is missing from. Look for the monument with the horse.
Hold on. I know what you're talking about, Gail. It's in the back of my mind. I know I've seen a horse.
I can't tell
Deborah,
you.
Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about.
And then I began sitting here thinking about monument.
It's not like
and this horse kept coming to me.
Gail, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but when I talked to you before, of course I do. The thing is, when we talked before, and you've worked live before, in other cases, you've talked about how the internet, things can happen, not just in the human trafficking world, but other worlds also, and how, as it pertains to the human trafficking world, how maybe they move people around and things that happen. And something that seems kind of common to me is moving them inside of the U.S. and out of it, possibly through Mexico and other things that are adjacent to us. You don't have a lot of movement here, do you? Or am I wrong? Do you think she's in the U.S. right now? I don't feel the movement.
I don't feel movement, and I don't feel like she's involved in human trafficking. Not per se in the way we think of blending Grant.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you on that. I kind of agree that it's not the big organized type of trafficking, but either way, it's still trafficking. When you're taking somebody against their will, from one place to another, that's human trafficking.
I think it was with her will first.
Okay.
And then that changed.
I found the horse too.
Well, did she get herself into something that she didn't bargain for because she wasn't quite
I mean, that's kind of my feeling because of being naive about things.
Like, oh yeah, let's go to that concert. Cool, that sounds fun. And then she's stuck.
I'm really sick of this. Well, yeah, I'm kind of sick of this. This has been a drag. This doesn't work out for me. You know what I mean? I'm sick of people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with more small time type people, you believe?
Yeah.
I mean,
or
when you
perhaps-
say if not trafficking
even
in
a
the sense
single
of Jessie.
a single person or a couple of people that she's tied up with. I think it's more than she bargained for.
But not
just
quite as large as major players.
Cynthia
No.
seems does she seem pretty
No.
street smart though? That she seems like she pretty for a 15-year-old. She's pretty well versed as far as street smarts goes. I mean, with different types
She's
of people.
very intelligent, but the problem is not only a horrible, selection of personalities for her friendships.
Mm-hmm.
She's fearless, and that's not always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think she wanted out so bad that she was just about willing to go with anybody. And I don't
And this was
believe that
definitely an adult.
I don't believe
Right.
that she knew this person for very long, if
No.
at all, maybe a few days.
Okay, Gail, I've got the horse you're talking about. Because it was in my mind. I found it on the internet. I've got a picture of it. And I'm going to put the link in Skype.
Brian.
And that's in the area where she disappeared?
I don't know. I got the picture. I just used. I went horse
Where
Texas.
did she disappear from? Look at the city she
Wait.
disappeared
I
from.
have to find out where this horse is
Bay
at.
Cliff, Texas.
Right. I know. I'm trying to find out where this horse is at. Okay.
And the closest
Yeah.
monument.
Okay. But I know when you said Texas horse, there is a statue of a horse. It's up on a pedestal, and it's a symbol of something in Texas. And I googled it. Sure
Okay.
enough, there's no
Oh
way.
yeah, it's rearing up.
Yes.
I think I've seen that.
I just
too.
that's it. That's it. That's what
Well,
I need to
what
find out.
I feel
I'm
is
looking at
important.
that right now, and that's consistent with what Brian said. Brian talked about her being in Dallas, possibly.
Okay, where's this horse
I'm
at?
just
Find the horse
looking-
though. There's a statue. It's somewhere.
Well,
I sent you the link.
can you
I sent
can
you
you
the link.
research what's actually in that town she went missing from?
Oh,
Monuments in whatever Texas.
So, Gail, you were saying that it's you didn't feel that it was a trafficking type situation, and Brian agreed. Although you do feel like there is more than one person who is party to this.
I don't know because I only saw one person.
See, I'm
Okay.
not going off of memory. I'm going off of what you're saying. I'm just going off my notes.
Yeah.
In my past history.
I'm only seeing one person, the one that she went with. I don't know if there's more, but I only see one.
I do think that's kind of what happened. Was she felt too pent up? She chose to go. It was going to be a fun time. She didn't know this person, not very well at all. Talked to him a few times. Got in over her head. You know, when she said it's time to go home, he said, no, you're not going home.
Well, I think this guy may be, for me, he may have said he's like 20, and really I think he's more like 27.
Either way, he's breaking the law.
Okay.
He's committing a felony. And if he took her across
Yeah.
state lines, what I'm saying is you can use the
Well, I
laws
don't
to
know
your
if he took her
advantage.
across the state line. I'm just interested in that
Either way,
monument.
either way, a 15-year-old was.
I'm stuck on that monument, and it's still
Okay,
breaking
well,
the law.
Gail, I sent you a link to the monument.
Right.
Okay, I have the monument. I know what you're talking about. I found it. I need to find out where it is, and I still can't find it.
Okay.
So-
It's on that link.
Brian. You must
How do
be
you
chat.
spell the name of that city?
Bay Cliff.
Yeah, how's it spelled?
Please show the DD of your guy in the DD. That's on the
it is
it's on the case file. It's already up,
As
Deborah.
in boy.
Okay, well, people in chat are asking for Brian.
Click on the picture.
Bay Cliff, Texas.
F. So there's double F as in Frank.
Okay, just click on the case file. It's all
Okay.
there. It's in the
Okay.
chat. It's in the chat window, the middle case.
Okay. Right now I can't click on much of anything. Computer is frozen.
No, I was telling Deborah that the people in the chat room, it's the center
Yeah.
case. It's the case that's up there.
And
Right.
that's
Isn't that 7:35 or
Yeah.
is it 7:45?
7:35.
7:35.
First stream drawing.
7:35. Cynthia Ann Macklin.
And I got the picture.
AKA Cindy Macklin, Sadie Macklin.
I got the picture of the horse. Let me update this page real quick. That way and where I got it from. That way I think that the people in the chat room may be able to help us out with this.
The listeners might be able to find out where that horse is,
Yes.
where that monument is. And thank you to all the listeners and readers who
You're still
submit
with us?
information and follow these cases. Because there's no way for us to do that with hundreds of cases.
So she got in over her head, and then she wants to go home, and he says no.
Basically, that's kind of the way I feel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have to say that's how I felt about it. But ultimately, there's a choice to be made because he is breaking the law, and he probably does know that. And
Right.
harboring a runaway, harboring a missing person, impeding investigation.
Well, it's also called, if you want really would go for big time, it's called kidnapping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's some laws in Texas where if you kidnap somebody and you do something to them, you could actually get the death penalty. And like I said, Texas fries people.
Yeah, well, the state of Michigan has some pretty strict laws too. The age of
But
majority.
that also
Nothing
may be
like
why
Texas.
there's a question about bringing her back.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, my fear is that he understands that there is a felony out, and hopefully another step won't be taken to
Well, really, there's not though.
permanently.
There's no warrant out for anybody because they're not really investigating the case, as far as I know. They're not. You know what I'm saying?
They're just looking at the kids that she was hanging around with.
Okay, so if let's say, okay,
Well, at this point,
I had a
the kid's
15-year-old.
not that high.
Whoa! I'm saying, how do we make it? So we need to find a solution for this. How do we make it that way? Say, my 15-year-old daughter was kidnapped, okay, and she's 15 years old. By law, you have to do something. You have to open a criminal case.
Mm-hmm.
Can't we do that? Can't you contact the Attorney General or something in the state of Texas, or your senator, or congressman, or something? There's got to be a law that's already in place.
Even though we have a detective on the case.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't mean that he's
there is a detective on this,
right.
but
Is that the okay? They assign a detective every case. Is that I'm sure the detective is doing everything he or she can. But are they seeking help up higher? You know, from let's say the FBI or something like that. I mean, because
Well, I would think that they're not.
they're stereotyping the case.
They're not
That's what they do.
as
It's
they
being
need to be.
stereotyped.
they do need to be, but they're
The
not.
thing is that she's not listed with the MEC yet,
Right.
and I check that website on a daily
I
basis.
just did.
And they always list runaways, standard runaway cases.
Oh, okay.
These young people can be even 16 or 17 years old.
But she's
And
15,
depending
she's
on the age of
15 now.
majority in the
Just because
state.
she's 16 now, she's 15. You go by the age when she left. She's 15. Okay.
I understand that. Go by the age when she left. I get that, Brian. But the thing is, no matter which state you're in, 16 is not the age of majority. Whether it's a state that says 17 or a state that says 18 is the age of majority. As far as them being old enough to live on their own, function as an adult, they're a legal adult, responsible for their own actions, they can live on their own at that point.
It's
The
not
thing
at
is
15.
that there's some problem here as far as what's going on, because I think that law enforcement did not realize to begin with, due to some missteps that could have happened that was not their fault, not law enforcement's fault, I want to say that right now, with Cindy being missing. But the bottom line is she's
people
right. It's not always cooperation, and they didn't list you as the mom to begin with. A stepmom is not a mom.
But that was a technical error, though, right? That wasn't
That's
anything
a
intentional.
technical error, but it did lose its time.
You know,
And she's still on there.
I do not believe that was a technical error, because she had been trying to pass herself off as such for years. Okay.
Well, the bottom line is that she is a child, and she deserves the
Okay,
right to any.
have they taken a polygraph test? Has her guardians taken a polygraph test?
Pardon?
Have they taken a polygraph test? Has your ex-husband and his girlfriend, the guardians, have they taken a
I'm having a
polygraph?
hard time hearing because there's more than one person.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Go ahead, Brian.
Okay,
There
have they
was-
taken a polygraph test? Have your ex-husband, her biological father, and his wife, girlfriend, whatever, have they taken a polygraph test?
No.
Okay.
There was 2 polygraphs given, and that was Cindy's relationship that they had broken off, a month before she left. And there was a mistake with a couple of kids, a mistake in the date. They said that they had picked her up but they picked her up at this school and like took her to McDonald's or had a cigarette or whatever and brought her back. And that was the week before. So my ex-husband glommed onto that and insisted that they do a polygraph test on those 2. So that was an entire month just on a McDonald's trip.
And those were teenagers that saw her. They claimed that they had seen her, and it turned out that it was the week prior.
They said they picked her up, and they had, but it was the week before that she had gone missing. They picked her up at school, but he wouldn't let it go. So the authorities were on those kids, even though that wasn't the thing.
Well, I would think at this point he needs to, if he expects teenagers to take a polygraph, and I don't mean this, I'm not meaning it in any way to point fingers, but for process of elimination, so they can move forward and find Cindy as a missing person, as a missing child. And he should volunteer for it.
But it sounds to me like they're not treating this as a criminal case because, I mean, you weren't even given a polygraph. Usually you give the parents a polygraph test, just to clear
They're
them.
not. Do you know what?
The thing is, Brian, they gave this more attention than the usual situation of a runaway.
Right, but Deb, you have not taken a polygraph. I mean, what I'm saying is not to point fingers at anybody, but generally, if something happens, everybody wants to take a polygraph. You should beg to take a polygraph, just so you can clear your name.
Right, just like Mark Class.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if they haven't asked for any polygraphs or anything, it seems to me like they're not even treating it like a criminal case. They're just saying, well, she ran away.
Yeah,
they don't usually ask for
exactly
public's help to run away, though, Brian. And that's what's out in this case.
And so that's why I come to the show, is because, right now, the detective is waiting on some information, which I can't disclose.
Right, yeah, don't bring any,
And while we're waiting, I was told today that it could be several weeks, up to a month or more, before this information even gets to the detective. So, what is this person that has her, what is his decision going to come to in that period of time? He knows if he has half a brain, and he is 27, like Gail said, which I do believe she is with an adult male, he's probably not dumb enough to miss that it's a felony.
Right, but murder is it's a different ballpark, though. A lot of people, like I said, not too many people can commit murder. That's a good thing.
But that's my big fear.
For that.
What's that?
My big fear is they try and figure out what to do with her, and because they can't figure a way out of their own, problem of ending up in the penitentiary, they harm and hide her. Kill her and hide her.
I didn't get any of that. I don't think Gail got any of that. I think statistically, that doesn't happen that often. Like I said, I mean that's a big difference. And it's people are smart. It's why escalate it to that? I mean.
Well, I would think that they would make the choice to take their chance if she could identify them or not, if they were to let her go because the heat was turned up, and see if they would end up in the penitentiary, or if they were to commit murder or something that heinous, that they're going to get caught by that, and there's more tracks for them to have to cover.
Well,
and you said, Brian, there's
the dream drawing says
that. You have to be really sick to kill someone.
It says they set her free. Okay, so let's hope that's what's going to happen. Right. I mean, I don't know. It's probably not because of this show or anything, but you do know, Deborah, a lot of times when we do stuff like that, things happen. So I mean, what I'm hoping is that, maybe tomorrow you'll get some good news or something. I mean, 3 months is.
Well, the thing is, when I give you cases, Brian, it has, I saw it stated before I even knew you. And when I say I know Brian, I know him by phone only. I haven't actually met him in person. But when Brian says that sometimes someone is found because of attention to their case, because he's worked on it, it has happened. And there could be someone missing for a few months, and when Brian works on the case, they're found rather quickly after that, within a day or two.
You know, that could be
Yeah.
just coincidence,
Right.
but I'm just saying I have noticed, you know, a pattern like that. I mean,
Right,
you know, I don't know why.
pattern too.
But what I do know is that I've had a lot of stuff that's, you know, been correct. A lot of stuff that's wrong too, but you know, I'm gonna keep trying. I mean, what's you know, even if just one it helps, that's all that matters, and it has.
Mhm.
But
Well, Brian, with your success rate, you know, as far as you being correct and being not correct, you've been more correct than not correct.
Well,
that depends on how you look at it.
More,
You could look at it
more
different ways.
often you peg it, and you know that's a good thing.
Well,
And I feel that more awareness you bring is a good thing, Brian. So thank you for that.
well, you're welcome.
know,
Thank
and
you.
it's not just Brian's. He's confirming some of the things that I thought for a long time.
Well,
So
don't
area
believe me though. What I'm saying is just use what I have. You know, I might be totally wrong. Gail could be totally wrong. Gail's pretty accurate. I don't know if you guys follow her, but I mean, she's on Larry
No,
King
I
for.
think I'm wrong enough.
Well, no, Larry King had you
Well,
on there for
Gail,
a reason.
I followed your
Okay.
work too, and in more cases than not, it's been spot on.
Hmm.
You know, and
Well, thank you.
I just
but
have so much respect
Well,
for that.
And people notice that. And
Look
like
at
I
you.
said, look at Nancy Grace. Look at Larry King. They have you on as a credible psychic. Now, a
Who
skeptic.
says a psychic is credible in this
Exactly.
day and
There
age?
you go. Those are contradictory in terms of what most people think. So they're not
I
having
guess
you
I
on
just
there.
never thought about it like that. Never
Well,
thought about it.
They're not having you
that's
on there.
true, though.
Well, most people don't believe in psychics, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Uh-huh.
But they're having you on there, Gail, because you have a track record, and like I said, and you have local authorities that back you up on it. So
Well,
That's
I know
good.
Gail has been dedicated for decades to finding missing persons. From what I know of Gail speaking with her on a regular basis, her travels to search for people, and her work on a daily basis. I know the same thing about Brian for several years now. It seems to me, although Brian's not sure why he does it, that with his gift, he's able to use it for the good of finding missing persons. And at some point, whether he realizes it or not, it dawned on him to start working for that cause. And I completely respect that. And more often than not, you guys are correct. Could you be wrong? Yes. And in a lot of cases, you want to be wrong. And I find that more respectful when you want to be wrong with what you come up with. I mean, that to me lends credibility
And you
as
know,
far as people out there.
Can I ask you guys a question?
no.
I don't
Sure.
know where this place is in Texas.
Okay,
is
I put
near,
it. I
is
just
it near Houston or is it near
okay.
Galveston?
I still can't find it. I think it's Houston. I mean,
No,
this
no,
might be.
is that
You know where
city-
I've seen it in King of the
oh,
Hill,
the city,
the King of the Hill
Bay Cliff,
cartoon.
Is it near? Is it
Bay Cliff?
near?
it's closer to Galveston. It's little teeny
Whoa,
tiny.
it is Galveston. It's Galveston,
Okay.
Texas. I
What's
think
Galveston, Brian?
that's on the coast. I think.
Okay.
Galveston County is where Bay Cliff is, and it's the Galveston County Sheriff that take care of Bay Cliff. They don't even have their own police department. Bay
Okay,
Cliff.
but the
When you
horse
say
though, that
that's near
horse.
Texas,
How far
is
is,
that
It's-
how far is
Mexico?
Houston? How far is Houston?
I don't know. I'm gonna get up Google Earth. What I'm saying is I put the link.
The
I
reason
put the
I'm
link in the
asking
chat. The link is up there in the
Galveston
case.
is bothering me,
Okay.
but the statues in Houston with the horse. I found one horse in
No,
Houston.
I think it's Galveston.
Are you sure? 'Cause,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't found.
It says.
Okay, it's a guy on a horse. It's a famous statue. It's a guy on a horse.
Yeah.
It's the horse is on its hind legs. The guy's tipping his hat. It's on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Not this one.
The one. There's only one I know, and I immediately recognized it, and I put it up.
Okay, I
It's
just
on
missed
it's
it.
on the case file. It's up there on the website. If anybody's in the chat room, if you refresh your page or whatever, it's there. And I just got the link.
I'll send you another link.
Put it in Skype, but I know what horse you're talking. Well, I'm almost positive I know what horse you're talking.
This isn't exactly like what I saw, but it's the one I'm trying to find. I can't find it again. I found it, now I can't find it.
So do you feel like she gets released or let go, or do you feel that as well?
I don't know, because I didn't see that far, so that was, that I can't answer, because I don't know.
Okay.
If whoever has her releases her, are you gonna they need to know that if just release her, no questions asked, and I'm sure everybody knows that. What press charges.
Absolutely.
No charges pressed. Yeah.
In pressing charges, I want my child back. I want her back, healthy and alive. I have a phone number that's out there, a Houston Steakhouse phone number, no questions asked.
Right. Deb has set up a safe house, so no one needs to feel, if a friend has information or anyone else does, no one needs to feel like they'll get in trouble for it. Call the number. No one cares. We just want Cindy back.
This number is to a safe house where this person, you can make arrangements with this person without your name. You can call from an unidentified payphone, however you want to do it. This is the number, 360-631-2590.
Okay, so we got 360. Okay, I'm sorry, 360-631-2590. Right.
Correct.
Okay, I'll put that on the website too.
That is located. The prefix is up here in Washington State. However, the person that is the safe house person is in Houston.
So those of you listening, there's no trouble. No questions asked. No one wants to try you. No one wants to get upset.
She's a friend. She is not family. She is not my family. She's not Cindy's family. She's just a person we know that has dealt with kids in trouble. That will say nothing. She'll say nothing to me even. She will call me and say, I have Cindy in my custody.
That's important for anyone who thinks they may be in trouble for what's happened here. If someone, let's just say they do have Cindy against her will, and she's not allowed to leave if she wants to, let her go. No one is interested in prosecuting you. Yes, we're not happy that you do this to children. Yes, we're not happy that there's others at risk, but we want Cindy back at this point. And whatever can be done to facilitate that, we're happy with that. So that number again is 360-631-2590. That is the safe house number.
My number personally, and I will not ask either, I will not ask, is 360-374-8881. That's 38 and a 1.
Well, the bottom line at this point, everyone who's listening, is that Cindy Macklin's mom wants her back. No questions asked. And if you can call that number that she just gave, that'd be great too. Yes, there's probably some of us that would like to see you prosecuted, but we're not in a position to do that. Cindy's mom holds the reins, and she doesn't want to see that happen. She only wants her child back. And yes, we're talking about a child at this point. A child. She was 15 when she went missing. And I'm sorry, being a mom myself, that is still a child. They're still a child at the age of 18 in some cases. It depends on each one. And yes, Cindy may seem like she's grown up. And she's adult as the way she functions, whatever. but her mom wants her back, and she's missing right now, and we need people to know that and spread the word. Please show her photo and her vital statistics so people know that she's missing. You can go to missingpersonforum.com or findthemissing.net and learn about Cindy's case. The MySpace address is myspace.com/Cindy Macklin missing. Learn more about her case.
My email is out everywhere, and you can email me and tell me where you're going to drop her off, and I'll just pick her up. It does not have to be a huge issue. You don't have to get in trouble.
Well, see, guys, at this point, it's okay. Give Cindy back. Give the child back.
And I think another important thing is that you know, if Cindy is listening, and you know, chances are she just might be one day.
Exactly. What do you have to say, Deb?
Well, no.
To your daughter?
Well, I was going to say real quick before you say that. You know, you might think things are bad, and you might have done some things that you might think are wrong, and you're going to get in trouble for that. But it's more important that you come home. You know, things can be forgiven, and any laws, you know, or anything laws you may think you've broken or something like that, might not be as serious as you think. A lot of things can be overlooked, especially in circumstances that are probably beyond your control. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, Deb, we have you on here. If Cindy is listening, what would you like to say to your daughter?
Well, of course, this is the hard part, and I would like to say that, honey, no matter what you've done, where you've been, what you've seen, anything that has happened, we can work through it together. But I love you more than my own life. You're my baby. And I need to know you're okay. I will not rest until I have you back in my arms. You're my child. All is forgiven. Anything. And you know that we've been through enough. If you know that, you know that I'll forgive you anything. You're my one and only daughter. Daddy's heart is just broken. So is mine. Gravy misses you and he doesn't understand. And even Jessie, she's waiting for me to call him at school, to call him home early, in the hopes that I found you. They're sitting in the other room tonight waiting behind closed doors, waiting to see if this works. And baby, nothing is as important as you coming home. Absolutely nothing. I won't even ask what you've done, where you've been. It's all up to you. It's all in your court. Whatever you need, I will do. Wherever you are, I will come. Just say the word, baby.
Thank you very much. You know, we feel for you, and I want to thank you guys for being on. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Deb, and thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, and we're going to try everything we know of to help you, Deb. We have the forum open. I'm going to send out an email. If you guys are in the forums, please please post pictures, please post links. Let's get this case more attention, than what it has right now, because this is ridiculous. Anyways, so you guys heard what we had to say. We're not going to do the other two cases tonight. We went on a little over 2 hours. We will get those cases done tomorrow. But before we leave, this is Adji Desir. He went missing January 10th, 2009 from Macklin, Florida. Guys, he's still missing. He needs your attention. Please go to findadji.com or any other website that supports Adji and missing people. So with that said, I'll see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Missing Persons TV. Good night.